Hey, yo, what's up, dudes?
Hello
It's your
there.
boy Happy Chap here. Welcome back to another episode. And on this one, what we're going to be doing is building some industrial super farms. Now, the reason why you would want to do something like this is, let's say you are building on a server, or let's say you are building on, a specific Minecraft build that does not allow zero tick farms or zero ticking for whatever reason. So, yeah, this is what you would build. Now we have two versions here on how to build it. The first one is the bamboo one and the second one is the sugarcane. So we'll just take a quick glance here at what both of them need. So for the bamboo one, these are the items that you need here. And for the sugarcane one, you basically need the exact same items. The only thing you need to bring along that is different is you need to bring in one less redstone repeater. You need to bring a comparator with a daylight detector, 3 or 2 stacks plus 4 of some slabs, and then some stairs as well too, okay? And then obviously the sugarcane instead of bamboo. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do for this build is basically dig yourself down a 20 by 23 area in the ground, okay? Okay, once you have that dug out, this is what it should look like. Now what you're going to do is make sure that it is 2 blocks deep in total, okay? I probably should have told you that before, but yeah, make sure this is a 22 by 23 area cleared out that is 2 blocks deep in total. Okay, your next step is to come to one of the short sides here. So this is the 23 long and this is the 20 block long side. Come to one of the short sides here. And what you're going to do is you're going to count in 3 blocks and then remove every other block in the ground just like this. Okay, once you have that done, okay, do the same thing, but do it on the other side and do it on the opposite side. So if you started on the wall on this side here, make sure you start on the wall on this opposite side over here. Once that is all done, this is what you should have, and it should look like this. Next, what we're going to do is come down to the end here. We're just going to clear ourselves a nice little, 3 by 2 area out for us to work. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove this end row here. We're going to place our first double chest in the opening here that we carved out, and then we are going to run our hoppers going into it. Okay, once you have your hoppers and your chest run with your holes in the ground, this is what it should look like here. So it's pretty straightforward. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to dig each of these holes here that we started to do. We're going to dig each of these down one more block. Then we're going to place a redstone torch on the bottom with a block above it, just like this. We're going to repeat that for all the holes that we created here. So that's remove, place, and then replace, remove, place, and then replace. So once you have your redstone torches in place, like I said, all you do is just place a block back over top of them like this. And then you are good to go. Do the same thing on this side. So dig it down, place your torch, and then put your filler block over top of it. Your next step, once you have everything filled in and ready to go, what you're going to do is you're going to come to the side with the hoppers. Okay, we dug our hole and put our redstone torch here on the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 powered rails and we're going to run 3 of them down like this. We're going to skip over one and do the same thing. As you can see, they get lit up and powered. Okay, we'll repeat that process. We'll skip, place down 3. Okay, and once you have that done, what we're going to do is move over to the other side and do the same thing. So we dug our trench here with our redstone torches in it. So we're going to put down 3 more on this side, skip and go to the opposite one, and then repeat that process. Okay, once you're done your rails, this is what it should look like here. Now what we're going to do is starting from one end here, what we're going to do is we're going to place down our rails and start to fill in all of the gaps here in the middle. You have to kind of do it one by one at a time because if you try to go side by side, it creates a turn and then you just kind of end up with this mess. So, okay, and once you are done, this is what it should look like here. So just repeat that for every single thing over here. Okay, once you have your rails in place, this is what it should look like here. So the minecart should be able to, you know, start on one of these things back here. Doesn't matter which side, just kind of circle your way around and collect all the items that are above it. So your next step after that is to basically just place some, you know, dirt blocks or sand blocks above the rails here. Once you have everything filled in, this is what it should look like. What I recommend you do right now is just kind of mark where the corners are. So that way you, you know, you don't get lost when you're trying to build the walls up on this thing afterwards. Actually, you know what? We'll do that as the next step. So basically what you want to do is along the outside here where you filled in your dirt blocks, what you want to do is give this thing a nice, you know, at least 1 block border all the way around it. That way you kind of know where you are and where you are working from. Now, if you're setting this up for sugarcane, what you want to do is, instead of filling this whole area in with dirt like we did here, what you want to do is from the end, okay, you're going to come in 2 blocks, and what you're going to do is you're going to place bottom half slabs all along this whole row here. Okay, and what that's going to allow us to do is it'll allow us to put water in here. Okay, so we can grow sugarcane on this side and this side as well. Then what you're going to do is you're going to skip another 2 and then repeat that same process. So here's where you're going to put your bottom slabs. When you're done, it should look like this. Now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Chapman, how do we get the outside ones? Because, you know, there's no water there. So what we're going to do is actually just below this glass here. Okay, it's super easy to do. You can either remove the glass, but basically what you're going to do is you're just going to place down your steps inside this hole. Okay, so either remove all the glass here or, you know, somehow dig out underneath it like this and place your things. But all we're going to do is run a row of stairs down the outside underneath this outside wall here. Okay, and then we can, we'll show that afterwards. Okay, so this is what it should look like here. Now, for sugarcane, I would suggest you make this longer than what this is. So maybe, you know, twice as long as this here. This is a pretty decent farm. We'll get over the rates when we get to the end of the video. But yeah, I would definitely, you know, make this one as long as you can. The bamboo, you know, this is a decent size. You get multiple thousands of bamboo per hour just from this little setup here. But for sugarcane, I would, yeah, stretch this sucker out as long as you can. Okay, so once you have everything in place, and this is what it looks like here, what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we are going to waterlog these steps here that we placed down. Same thing for the slabs, just make sure you are aiming at the block that is above it and start to fill in all of these holes here. Now, because these are bottom half slabs, okay, you can just aim right at the slab and waterlog it if you want. And as you will see, you know, no water comes down from below here. So there is no risk of, you know, waterlogging all of your rails below your farm. Okay, and once you have everything in place, you know, like all your water in your slabs, just run your, you know, your wall back down over top of these stairs here. And we can now move on to creating the flying machines. Okay, so for the flying machine, what you're going to do is you're going to find the middle of the farm here, okay, on the short side. And what you're going to do is you're going to remove the 2 center blocks like this. Okay, so I just removed these blocks here for reference. And what you're going to do is on one side of them, you're going to place down a redstone lamp, just like you see there. Then we're going to place an observer facing into it. Then we're going to grab our obsidian, which is an immovable object, okay? And we're going to place that next to the observer. And this is what you should have so far. Then you're going to place a slime block on the back of the observer like that, with a sticky piston going into the slime block. On the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to place a sticky piston, then a slime block. Then we need to place down a temporary block because we want our observer facing outwards. Like that, and you are done the flying machine. All we have to do is go over to the other side here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to get in line with that observer there. We're going to remove this block and place down a piece of obsidian. Then next to it, we're going to place another piece of obsidian. We're going to remove the block under it. Now we're going to place a repeater on top of this lower piece of obsidian here. Okay, we're going to make sure that it is facing out and away from the block. We're going to set it to 4 ticks. Then we're going to place down a redstone torch here. It should light up. If it doesn't, you have it the wrong way. Next, we're going to place down our lever, and then we are going to deactivate everything, and it should all turn off. Next, what we're going to do is in front of this upper obsidian here, we're going to place down just 2 temporary blocks. Then we're going to place our observer going into that block with its face going outwards. Okay, now the machine is ready. If we activate the redstone lamp here, as you will see, the machine will start to fly across. Once it gets to this side here, it will touch and turn and head back the other direction. Next, what you're going to do is from these slime blocks here, you're going to come out 8 more blocks. Okay, and then you're going to place a glass block on the end. So this is what it should look like. Do the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then your glass block. And your machine is basically ready to go from there. All we have to do is connect the activator system. Now, 2 different ways you can do this. We'll do both of them here real quickly. So to set up the activator from when the time changes, what you're going to do is behind the redstone lamp here, you're going to place down a block. It doesn't have to be obsidian. It can just be any solid block. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place a redstone torch on top of it. This will activate the machine, but that is no problem. Then you're going to place a repeater going into the redstone torch on 4 ticks with an observer, facing out. So its little red butt goes into the repeater. Then you're going to place a comparator going into the observer, your daylight sensor, and then you're going to switch this over to nighttime. This is critical right here to make sure that this is switched over to nighttime. Okay, and as you will see, once the machine gets back here, because it is not daytime, it just stops and doesn't do anything. Now when we switch it over to night, okay, the comparator recognizes the signal, sends it out to the observer. The observer sends it out to the repeater, which is on 4 ticks, activates the machine here, and everything starts to function as it should. Same thing when time comes back to daytime. Okay, the machine triggers and activates, and off it goes. So basically every 10 minutes this machine will trigger and activate and harvest your sugarcane for you. Okay, if you do set this to the daytime, it will end up, doing multiple pulses per day. I think the daytime sensor picks up on every, 1,000 ticks or something like that, or every 1,000 ticks that goes by and sends out a signal. So that's why we send it to, or that's why we set it to the nighttime anyways. But yeah. For the activator system, what you want to do is you want to run your solid blocks out from the redstone lamp there. You want to run them up and over. Make sure none of them are connected to the slime block in any way. What you're going to do is place a repeater down, okay? And you're going to place that on 4 ticks. That will stop any of the extra pulses that come out from the observers there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place your observer in front of the repeater there. You can do it the same for both sides. Okay, make sure that they are just barely overhanging. So you can see I put this one too far forward. Now I've done my tests on this one before I set up the different waterways here. What I did, as you can see the redstone, I had these set up so that way it was connected to an observer, thing like this. So that way when the sugarcane grew up, the observers would fire and the system would activate, but that ended up actually being slower than this one here, which is triggered every 10 minutes by the day-nighttime cycle shift. So we are going to show you how to build the daylight one, and then we will set up the, automatic whatever censoring system here for the bamboo and move on from that. Okay, for the sugarcane, your sugarcane walls need to be at least 3 blocks tall, because sugarcane is 3 blocks tall, so I would do it 4 blocks in total to avoid anything, bouncing out when it gets hit by the slime blocks there. And then as for the bamboo, you basically want to make your wall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks tall in total, and by the time these things grow up and hit the activators, nothing ends up getting caught on the edges here anyways, so it is really just no worries whatsoever. Okay, and once you have your walls done, probably maybe, I don't know, give yourself a door so that way you can get in and out of this farm, nice and easy. Make sure that it is on the inside too as well, so that way no items end up getting caught on the, little void or opening that is here. Okay, but that is your system set up and ready. All we have to do is just start to plant our crops and wait for them to grow. Okay, once you have your crops in place, all you have to do is just wait for everything to start to grow, and then when the day-night cycle changes, the system will fire and you are good to go. All we have to do is go down here. We're going to make ourselves some little room. Okay, and we've got to get our minecarts going. Now, because these are on a loop, if we were to just place our minecart there, okay, as you will see, nothing will end up happening. So what you can do is just jump up here, remove these blocks along this top row, place your minecart down on top of that, and give it a little push. Okay, once you have them all in place, all you have to do is just kind of step your way out, put these grass blocks or dirt blocks back in place, or whatever you used for your base, and then you are good to go. Okay, let's say you don't have 10 minecarts or you don't want to use 10 minecarts. What you can actually do is, so you can take 4 of these rows here like this, and you can actually connect them all up. So we'll connect these 2 here at the bottom. Then we'll put another powered rail here at the end, and then we'll run 3 powered rails down coming off of that. And what you get is this loop here, so that the carts will go down, come back, around again, come back, and then hit here, and then restart. Okay, so that allows you to just place your minecart here and then kind of put a block there. Make sure you have a block at the end of this one. Okay, so that is another way that you can do it if you don't have, as many minecarts, or you don't have 10 minecarts anyways. Let's say you only have 5. As you will see, it still manages to go back and forwards, picks up all the items above it before they time out, and yeah, so that's something else that you can do. Okay, once you have all your minecarts going, this is what it should look like here. Everything should be ready to go. All we have to do is, like I said, wait for this thing to grow up, and it will activate once the day-night cycle changes. Okay, when you're all said and done, this here is what both farms should look like. So you should have your sugarcane farm. You can avoid, or you can just forget about digging or planting any crops on the ends here, because as you can see, nothing will get there anyways. The minecarts still go over that direction, but the flying machine does not. So, but this is what everything should look like here. So here we have the daylight sensor set up on the sugarcane. Okay, and then over here we have the bamboo, and we have the observer sensors. Okay, with their 4 tick repeaters set. The red zone signal comes down and then crosses over the lamp here. And once, either that crop or this crop here grows in front of the observers. Okay, so once the bamboo grows in front of the observer's face there, the system will activate. And as you can see, all of the items get dropped down. Now you can see some of these bamboo sticks did get pretty tall, and they did end up, on top of the wall here. So in total there was, let's see, 6 bamboo on the side wall. So if you do want to build these up higher on the sides anyways, you can do so. And yeah, this one here will change over once we get to the, day night cycle change period, which I think is like 21,000 ticks and 12,000 ticks or something like that. Okay, so these 2 farms here are the farms that I did the tests on. Okay, and if we look, okay, this is just from, a few hours of, mingling around on the server here with, trying to collect the material items and the amounts. But that is what we got from that. So, not too bad from a little farm. But again, like I said, I would build this up as high as, or as long as you can, basically, to get as much yield out of it as you possibly can. And then this farm here, which was, basically the same amount of time of just kind of lingering around on the server here. As you can see, we have almost 3 double chests full. So this little farm here is a pretty decent little bamboo fuel farm that you want to, if you want to use it to connect it up to like an XP farm or something like that. And as for the sugarcane farm, again, something pretty sweet, something pretty simple. and definitely capable of being used in place of zero tick farms or quantum tick farms or something like that if you are on one of those servers. So okay, but there are the farms right there. Make sure you fill in any, gaps that you do see like this in the farm, so that way no bamboo or anything does go flying all over the place. Just try to make sure you don't connect anything up to the actual slime blocks themselves. But that's it right there. That is the activator system. Okay, it's pretty simple. That there is the return system. So it's just an observer facing outwards. Sorry, just an observer facing outwards with your repeater, torch, and lever. And for the sugarcane farm, this is the, nighttime, daytime sensor cycle thingamabobber. Those are the observer sensors. That is what the flying machine there looks like. So it's just two observers facing opposite each other. Right, so it's just two observers facing opposite each other with sticky pistons pushing each other back and forward, basically. Or pushing and grabbing each other back and forward. So there you have it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos. And yeah, sorry for the little hiatus on videos. I planned on putting at least 3 out a week, but with current work starting back up and as well as working on the website for everything, everything's just kind of taking some time here. So give me a couple of days and everything will be done. And yeah, thank you again so much for watching my videos, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.